Hi, I'm Ruthie Bowles, owner of Defy the Status Quo, and you're listening to an episode of the Defiant Business Podcast, your 10-minute daily shot of business information and knowledge. So, today, what we're going to go over in less than 10 minutes are SEO ranking factors. And if you don't know, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. So they're over now with all the developments and artificial intelligence and machine learning. There are over 200 factors that Google and likely other search engines use to rank content in what marketers call the SERPs, which is search engine results page. So, and then the S at the end. So, how you rank in the SERPs, right? So, with over 200, it's important to know that some matter more than others. And so today we're going to talk about the top 3 SEO ranking factors. And the reason why is because if you're a small business or you're a larger business with a small marketing team, there's only so many things you can worry about. So I would much rather you worry about the top 3 ranking factors, if that's all you've got time for, than wasting time on some of the lower or less heavily weighted ranking factors. Somebody mentioned this on LinkedIn where they were saying that they knew a company that followed the voice search recommendations but didn't follow basic SEO recommendations for their written content. And obviously that's kind of backwards. Voice search is growing at an amazing rate, and it's definitely going to be something that you have to keep in the back of your mind. Smart voice devices like Google Home and Alexa, they've increased 100%. The purchase rates increased 100% every year since like 2013 or something like that. So we know that that's going to continue to increase, but you want to make sure that you've got your foundation nice and strong. And that's where these factors come into play. So some factors of the 200 can be like a one-time fix, and then some of them are kind of ongoing. So like a one-time fix example would be the whole big thing about, hey, we're HTTP and now we're moving to HTTPS. That was a really big deal, but once you switched over, you were fine. It was done. And if you didn't search over, then your website got punched in the face for a little while until you fixed it. And people stopped getting that alert that your website was unsecure. And then some of them you don't have control over. Some factors you don't have control over. And these are the sorts of things, again, that I don't necessarily want you to worry about. But things like domain age. So a website with a domain that's older typically ranks better. It just depends. But it typically ranks better. But that's not something you have control over. So if your domain is fresh, it's funny because all of the domains I've ever purchased, they were like brand new. Nobody else ever had them. So they don't have anything on them. It's like a teenager out of high school. They don't have any credit. It's not bad, but it's not good. I mean, I guess sometimes it's bad, but it's not good either. So to not have credit at all. So it's kind of like that. Your domain age is almost kind of like website credit, if you will. So your top factor, and this is going to continue to be the top factor for a long time, which is good for me because that means I've got more work, is to produce high quality content. Now, some people here produce content, forget the high quality thing in there. And that is a mistake. Google is in Google Docs. It's, on your Google Drive. It owns YouTube. They've got pretty much everything. They do spell check and whatnot. So they have access to all the content that you could, ever possibly create. And that means they know they're, and they're working these things into their algorithms. They know what good content looks like. They know what high quality stuff looks like. And you need to make sure that that's what's on your website. So people who just put up content before an algorithm change, when the content was like, oh, you've got content and it ranks for these keywords, good for you. But once that algorithm change hit, where they were also looking for quality stuff, not riddled with grammar errors or not, just stuffed with keywords, well, then all of those sites, all of that was a waste. That was worthless. They got penalized by Google and then they got buried. So now nobody will find those websites because Google knows that their users don't want to see that. So you want to put in the work up front to future-proof the content on your site. So quality over quantity. 100% of the time. If you're like, oh, this isn't our best work, should we put it up? The answer is no. don't put it up. If you know it's not your best work, don't put it up there in front of your customers and in front of your future customers. So I'm always of the opinion, one great blog post per month is better than 8 crappy posts per month. If you have the team to put out 8 awesome blog posts every month, good for you, but that's not everybody. So unless you're outsourcing or you've got the internal team and like an editor or excellent writers who are also employees, then you're going to want to ease back. So the general recommendation is 1 blog post per week. But even that, if you know you can't keep up with 1 blog post per week and it's not going to be your best stuff, if you know you can't keep up with that, don't publish it. I would much rather that you post 1 great blog post. 1 great blog post is something we can do something with. We can be proud of it. Me, as maybe a connection with you on social media, I can share it. I'll be happy to share it. But because I'm sharing that with my network, I can't share stuff that's not good. So also remember that when you're putting that out into your network, it's very likely you have people who want to help you, but they don't want to share stuff that's no good with their own network. So focus on value and quality over volume, and you will succeed. Put that value there. You want the value there. It shows in your writing. So you can succeed with valuable content that you don't post as frequently. The key is to be consistent, whatever that is for you, weekly, monthly, whatever. So some of these other ones are a little bit easier, but you want to build a mobile friendly site. What that means is that it will show up differently. It's called a responsive site. And so based on the size of the display, your website will present the content in different ways to make it optimized for mobile. So now Google does mobile first indexing. If your website's not optimized for mobile, then you're going to be nowhere to be found. So 50% or more of search traffic is on a mobile device, right? Like, hey, I was in the kitchen. Let me look this thing up. Oh, I just remembered that. Let me look this thing up. So keep that in mind. So mobile first indexing, if you're not optimized for mobile, you're not showing up. And then 50% of traffic is on a mobile device. So you want to be optimized for that. And it's not difficult these days when you're working with a great web designer, because they'll know, hey, only responsive websites. That's all we build. So that would be, if I was working with a web designer who was trying to charge me extra for a responsive website, I would not even work with them, because the only web designers who know their stuff are only going to build responsive websites. There's no point in building anything else anymore. And the final factor I'm going to talk to you about are backlinks. And what that means is, okay, so you're a website and I'm a website, and you found something really awesome on my website that you want to put on yours. You link back to my blog post that you found the information on. That's called a backlink from you to me. So that's great for me because you just gave me a backlink. You just told Google that I was awesome. And Google pays attention to that stuff. So backlinks are important. And this is where guest posting and things like that come in. And I believe that was episode 13 that you'll want to check out in terms of ways to market your blog to generate more business. You can also market your blog and yourself and your writing skills to get more backlinks. And guest posting is one of those ways. Going on podcast interviews is another way. But there's a lot of different tactics that you can use, ways that you feel most comfortable with to kind of get out there, build relationships, and also end up building those backlinks. They're incredibly valuable because, as I said, they communicate to Google that you're awesome. So over time, the more backlinks a particular page has, it will climb up in the search results. So keep that in mind. Backlinks are valuable to you, but you don't just want any backlink. You want valuable backlinks. So you'll have to go back sometimes and put no follow, which you can Google, but you can no follow certain links. So that way they can't link to you anymore if they're spam links, which you definitely don't want. All right. I know I've given you a lot to think about, so I'll go ahead and let you go. This has been an episode of the Defiant Business Podcast, and I'm your host, Ruthie, owner of Defy the Status Quo. Wherever you find this episode, video, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. You always love this sort of feedback. And if you have a question, go ahead and leave us a message, either voice message or a comment, and let us know what you'd like us to talk about next. See you next time.